And Grizz, we turn to off the field stuff because it's always important we do. Look at them, two handsome bastards in that photo there, aren't we? Dominic Szoboszlai with his arm around Milos Kerkez. Now, it's important we do chat about him because people are thinking, why? Arne Slot mentioned him in the press conference afterwards, Grizz, didn't he? He said, we made the adjustment with Gravenberch because of Kerkez's energy and pace to help Trent down that side because Trent would have had a difficult time, as it proved to be. Arne Slot then gets asked naturally about, Kerkez, have you got interest? A red-hot rumour, it seems, said we don't talk about other players, but a talented boy, no doubts about it at all. Szoboszlai is obviously very lovely pair of teeth, sort of fanning the flames there. If you had, I'm going to stick it on you big time. If you had to bet now, would you say Milos Kerkez will be a Liverpool player in the summer?
No.
Ooh.
No, I don't think he will be. That's just my opinion. I have an inkling and a feeling that he's not going to be a target for us come summer. I think he obviously is on a list and obviously has been quoted by reputable journalists as one that we're looking at or looked at. But I think we've got our eyes on a certain Dutchman to be that player and play in that role. A young Dutchman. Is he over Dutch kid?
Yeah, kid, isn't he? Really? Yeah.
In the form of Gerald Hato. Hato. That's Arsenal haters. Gerald Hato. I think this guy is a very good player. I think he showed yesterday bundles of energy, Dave.
Yeah.
Like I hope he got tested afterwards. My God, he was sensational energy up to the last minute. Now, I just think the profile of him is more suited to Jurgen Klopp, Dave. I think since Slot has come in, I think Slot prefers the more technical, calmer type player. And I think Kerkez is a very gung-ho, very energetic, very passionate, plays with a lot of emotions. I just think neither fullback. I mean, it's difficult to say, as I said, he's a fantastic player, don't get me wrong. And I wouldn't say no to him. But I just have a feeling that he's not a Slot type player. I think he's more of a Klopp type player. But let's see how it goes. As I said, I definitely wouldn't say no to him. Oh yeah, he's definitely, as it's me, he's definitely going to get a move away. I just don't think it will be to Liverpool. But I wouldn't say no.
Yeah, we will have to see what the summer brings. No two ways about it. And while we're talking a little bit about things that are going on, Virgil van Dijk was asked about Mo Salah yesterday, and there was a good little quote that he gave, and maybe we latch on to too many things because of the contracts about Mo Salah. He said, yeah, let's make it more. Let's keep it going. He's obviously been amazing for the football club over the years. I mean, Grizz, these two, we talked about them as elite players. We said how important they are. Into 6 months left to go on the deal. We're still hopeful, but we wouldn't mind some news soon, would we?
Yeah, I don't think it's conceivable that we let sort of them go, especially the seasons that he's having, or they're having, sorry, I should say, especially after it being Slot's first full season in charge.
Yeah.
It makes no financial sense. It makes no business sense, which is obviously related to financial. It makes no sporting sense to let go of two of the greatest players the club has ever had and seen and not be able to agree deals with them. Now, we don't know, and nobody knows the reasons why. Reputable journalists such as Ornstein and Joyce are merely repeating the same thing pretty much every other week in terms of the club are still working, are still talking. I do expect them to stay. But as you say, I guess we would like some clarity, the majority of the fan base. But me personally, I'm past it. I'm genuinely past it. I just want to focus on the campaign in hand and let this take care of itself and then we can address it and assess it once we know what's actually happened, as opposed to us fretting, having sleepless nights, fluctuating blood pressures about whether they will sign or they won't sign. Because there's literally, the word literal, there's literally nothing we can do about it. All we can do is focus on these mighty Reds and the campaign that we're involved in the 4 campaigns that we're involved in. Because let's not forget, we've got the League Cup to try to turn around as well.
Yeah.
And so that's where my focus is now. I was intrigued and I wanted it resolved, obviously pre-Christmas. But now, when it comes to the final furlong, I'm going to let the suits deal with it and then assess it. We'll then give an opinion on the factual outcome, as opposed to the hearsays, because we've done that to death. That's just my opinion, people. Obviously, everyone each to their own.
Yeah, indeed. There is literally, it's well put, nothing we can do. And I think Arj makes a good point there. I never thought I'd say this. For all the greatness we're talking about with Van Dijk and Salah, the contract talk is a little bit boring at times, isn't it? You just think, yeah, there is a league title to be won. So let's just focus on that. And in terms of the window, and I know people will be hopping and jumping around with this, but the only moves it looks like there's going to be, are we expecting McConnell and Dans to go out on loan probably now, Grizz?
Yeah, I don't know about McConnell, because obviously Arne Slot did mention about how impressive he's been. But I'd still like to think that I don't want to see McConnell again before the end of the season, because that will either indicate a huge loss of form from our current 5 or 6. Excuse me. Or a severe injury crisis.
Yeah.
Now, I'm a fan of McConnell. 2 years ago in pre-season, I got a first glimpse of him and I said, you know what? This guy looks a player. And he's turned out to be a good player. He's had a couple of injuries, setbacks, but I think he's one of the most improved players, academy players at the club. I think he's got a bit of everything. Now, Dan's, I am expecting a loan to be made before the end of the season, especially with the great news that Jota's back, Chiesa's back to fitness. Of course, Nunes came back from illness. So that's our 6th quarter of forwards, back to full fitness. So therefore, Jayden Dans I can definitely see going out on loan. A couple of clubs interested in him. I think Blackburn being another one that's interested in Jayden Dans, and that's a good club because we have history. We've got good history with Elliott and Tyler Morton going there. So that's one I'd keep an eye on. McConnell, I don't know, but I think it's still, I know Slot alluded to him not going, but I think there's still a chance that he may end up going as well. Especially, as I said, if the fitness levels of the other midfielders is fine. We'll take it to the last, well, it is tomorrow, isn't it? The last day is tomorrow. So, yeah, interesting on the McConnell situation, especially what Slot said, because I would have thought definite loans. Now I'm saying 50-50 on the McConnell, but I'd say it's quite certain that Dan's goes out on loan, unless there's issues behind the scenes in terms of fitness that we don't know about.
Yeah, I agree, actually. You start looking at it, and I know it's easy to go, oh, we can get minutes in the Cup, and Plymouth comes up. But after Plymouth, I know it's an old mantra, but they all feel like massive games, don't they? It'll be finals, league games. It's really struggling to see where Dans and McConnell are going to get their minutes. And at the same time, probably that is what's needed for the next kick in their career. And as you mentioned, players back, we even got a bit of a Curtis Jones surprise yesterday because he wasn't really mentioned in the press conference on Friday, but there he is, he comes on. So yeah, Chiesa left out the squad completely. It might just be best for them all round. And that one that you did talk about, Grizz, just a small matter of a semi-final second leg coming up. Now, obviously, they beat us 1-0 at the Spurs Stadium, but this Thursday, 8 o'clock, Anfield under the lights. Full strength again for you? Is that what you're expecting?
Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say so, especially with Plymouth a few days later. Gives us that leeway, gives us that scope for change in the Plymouth game, and gives us the fact that it's Thursday, not a Wednesday, gives us another day in terms of the gap between Saturday and Thursday, which is pretty much a week anyway. And players will be used to that. So I'm expecting a full strength team. Obviously, Trent would probably be the biggest doubt. I doubt if he starts against them. But the rest, I wouldn't argue with. For example, if Jota was to start there, I wouldn't have an issue.
True.
Maybe Diaz a rest or a Gakpo a rest. Maybe Curtis Jones comes in. But apart from that, I don't. Maybe a Simicast for a Robertson. I don't. But these are very what's the word? Marginal calls.
Yeah.
Then there won't be any major changes or major rotation. Max, I can see 2 changes, I'd say, and that would be very comfortable. I'll be very comfortable with that. But I know we've spoken about sort of the trophies and the campaign of the league is all that matters, and the Champions League is all that matters. I'm getting a bit greedy. I don't know about you, Dave. I want to reach the final of the League Cup, and I want Slot to have a day out at Wembley. So I do really want to smash Spurs and turn this around. So I do want to go for it.
Yeah, and I've been to the last 2 finals at Wembley, and they are some of the best days out, without a shadow of a question. They are just special. And I know it's like you say, you agreed, it's like the league is everything. But, well, you're in the semi-final. This Spurs team under Ange, they are horrendous at the moment. It looks like they've just signed a new player today, but how quickly is he going to be up to speed, even if he is registered? I mean, I'm maybe being super greedy here, Grizz. I actually think we'll beat them and beat them well. That is what's going through my head. That might be overconfidence. What are you feeling with this one?
I've seen your picture of the one you put on thumbnails where you're going like that, and that's me, because it seems like a foregone conclusion, and everyone seems to think we just have to turn up, and the form that they're in and the form we're in, and we just have to turn it around. I think they're geared up for this game. I think the last few weeks they've been focusing all attentions and all minds. This is their last hurrah, so to speak. I think this is the one that possibly even saves or breaks Ange's Spurs managerial career. So I think they've got Romero and Van der Ven back. Apparently, Van der Ven's definitely back. They've got that. I want to say he's been our nemesis in the past, but an annoying element of our past. Richarlison coming back as the striker. And yeah, I'd like to think we can turn it around. How motivated we will be, and in terms of the selection, obviously that will show. But yeah, I'm personally very greedy about this. But I think it may be quite a tense affair. I don't think we'll blow them away and it will be over very early. We may have to, because there's no away goals or nothing, is there, guys? No, there is. No. So we may have to take this into extra time, possibly even penalties. But let's see how it goes.
Yeah, it will be interesting. The last thing Slot or anyone else will want is extra time. But like you said, we'll have to see how it goes in this one. So there we are, people. Bournemouth vanquished. Not an easy game by any means, but Liverpool come out 2-0 victors, mainly, as we said today, down to the elite players and the difference they make. 9 points clear of the rest. We are watching this Arsenal game versus City. Quite relaxed, aren't we, at the same time? And what will be, will be. All it leaves me to say as ever is Grizz, for the time, the insight. It is much appreciated.
Always a pleasure, never a chore.
And ladies and gents, if you are seeing rival fans of any other team today, just remind them to mind that gap like it says on the screen. But there we go. That was another Daily Red for Anfield Index.